Now, my next guest has been spinning records on the Irish airwaves for half a century. He was the first voice to be heard on 2FM in 1979. Since then, his popularity has never waned. He's a true legend. Would you please give a really warm welcome to Ireland's favourite DJ, Larry Gogan.
Very much. Good evening.
Hi Larry, how are you?
I'm very well, Brendan, and yourself?
Yeah, good, good. So 50 years you're at it.
Yeah, and in May, it's hard to believe it, I can't believe it myself, that I started in May 1961. And that's 50 years, isn't it? It is 50, I think. Yeah. We had a shop in Fairview, and this girl used to come in called Maura Fox, and she was a producer of radio programs. Somebody told me, so I asked her, I said, I want to be a DJ. And I had been a boy actor before that.
Had you?
I had.
What kind of a boy actor?
I was a professional boy actor.
I don't mean to sound so surprised.
I was about 12, I think. Yeah.
Right.
My Uncle Paddy was the manager of the Queen's Theatre. They were looking for boys for a play in the Gaiety, and I got this part in Life Would Follow, it was called. And one of the jokes was that when all the boys came down the mall, they all had red hair. So the very first rehearsal I went to, they brought me down to Leon's, I think it was, in South Gate Street, and dyed my hair red. And when I came home, my mother said to me, what have they done to you? Look at your hair, it's red. But it was a joke for the thing. But it was really radio I wanted to be. And Maura sent me to Fred O'Donovan, David Hannon Studios. He put me down to Bill O'Donovan, and he took me in hand, and he taught me almost everything I know about radio.
So in those days it was as easy as that. A girl came into the shop, you asked her, and
it probably wasn't that easy, I suppose, in a way.
No, of course you had the talent.
Of course, yeah.
As we found out over the next 50 years.
Yeah. No.
So, what was it like 50 years ago? What was the setup back then in radio? A long time ago.
It was completely different. I mean, today, like in 2FM, we play everything out of computers. You know, we don't have. Well, you can play a CD if you want to, but it's all in a computer. In those days, you dropped the needle on the record. You know, you had a 45, and dropped the needle, brought it around to a little dot, pushed the thing up and up again. And before that, again, you went and touched them. There was fellas called disc operators who actually put on the records for you. You know.
And so, what kind of a show were you doing?
They were sponsored programs. Do you remember sponsored programs? Oh, some of the older ones don't remember. You don't remember sponsored programs?
I know what they were, but I don't.
There were quarter-hour programs. There's about 60 of them on every week, and every day. And I mean, it's on a week on RTE, and they were sponsored by different people, like Jacobs. Frankie Byrne used to do the program with Jacobs, that kind of thing. And I did pop program, Mystic Nylons, the magic of Mystic.
Right. And what was the music around at that stage? Had rock and roll kind of penetrated Ireland?
Well, it was just before the Beatles came in. Then it was the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and all the show bands. You know what I mean? You know, Dickie Rock and Brendan Boyer, and then Joe Dolan that came along, that kind of thing. That was the kind of music was around at the time.
So the foreign stuff hadn't really kind of started.
No, the foreign stuff was big, but the show bands were huge. I mean, show bands were absolutely huge in Ireland. You know, and we had our own kind of even in the top 10 sometimes. About half the records on it would be Irish.
Would be Irish, yeah. And would they be covers of the American
songs? Like said Uncle Buck, and I think he had a lot of some of the Elvis stuff and that kind of thing. They were mostly covers of American hits.
Why would you need Elvis when you had Dickie?
Why would you? Yeah. Right.
And who were your kind of contemporaries around radio at that stage? Then who started out with you?
Well, Gay was there before me. He's longer on the air, and people like Mike Murphy came along, Brendan Balfe, and all those kind of people, Ken Stewart. They were the kind of contemporaries around that time.
Yeah, and Terry Wogan was he?
He started the same day as I did in radio, actually. Yeah.
Right. And come here, did you know the way Terry Wogan started the same day as you? And then I suppose your paths kind of diverged. Terry went off to England and became hugely successful. You stayed here and were hugely successful here. Did you ever get the call to go abroad?
When I was married, I did a program when Butch Moore sang for Ireland in the Eurovision. Yeah. He got his own. They got their own program on Radio Luxembourg, and I was the DJ on it. And they asked me to go and work in Luxembourg. Luxembourg was a big thing at the time, Radio Luxembourg.
And was Radio Luxembourg actually in Luxembourg?
It was in Luxembourg, yeah. A lot of the stuff was recorded in London and sent over.
Okay.
And I was only married at the time, and I said to Florrie, would you like to go to Luxembourg? And she said, where is Luxembourg? I said, it's a little country beside France. And she said, no, I don't want to go there. So I never went. And I was later on I was asked to go to BBC one time, all right.
Were you, yeah?
But at that time I had 5 kids, so I thought, no, to stay where I am, So I was happy here anyway.
Yeah, you don't regret it at all?
No, not at all, not in the least. Not in the least.
Really? So
No.
your 5 kids,
Yeah,
you don't blame them for the fact that you never had
Well, no.
Come here, Larry, you mentioned your wife Florrie there.
Yeah.
And I know, I remember even when Florrie died, she said how long now?
She'll be dead 9 years, would you believe, about 2 weeks' time. Yeah.
Right. I remember reading at the time that everyone said you were such a close couple. You were kind of around the town together all the time. You went everywhere together. You were incredibly close, and that people said, "Geez, Larry will never get over this." But clearly, you got over it, and
yeah, that's true. We were. I mean, I knew her from the time she was 15, I think. And we'd go with her. Yeah, we were 21 when we got married and that kind of thing.
So you grew up together.
We grew up together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Breast cancer, she died from.
Yeah. But you did kind of survive in life.
Yeah,
you
have to. Like you have to go on. You have to keep going.
Yeah.
And I think the great help of people in RG, I have to say, was incredible. And all the friends in 2FM, they really keep you going. There's no doubt about that.
And come here, did you ever think of kind of that you might meet anyone else? You're still a young man.
Yes, well, I never met her before, you see, I went to tonight. You never know. You never know.
Like just, a bit of company keeping that.
Never say never. You never know what's going on.
I mean, you must get offers, do you? I mean, you're well known. Well, you're well known. I'm sure you get a bit of fan mail and that, do you? And women want to look after you and all that kind of thing.
Well, we had something special, I think, for myself, so I can't see myself going off again. But as I say, you never know.
Really, yeah. That's lovely. So do you think that because of the relationship you have with
I think so, yeah. I
right,
think it was kind of a special relationship, I can't see myself going on. I have lots of friends, all right, but...
Yeah. But nobody special.
Nobody special. Yes.
Yes.